reimagining Spider-Man with Tom Holland and Civil War was almost like a homecoming and kind of a big aha.
Don't do anything stupid, all right?
Yeah.
He's just man for the Spider-Man movie.
It's so cool to make a new Spider-Man in this MCU, something we haven't seen before.
You're the Spider-Man.
No, I'm not. I'm not. This is just a costume. This is
From the ceiling. On the roof.
Hey, everyone.
Spider-Man is the biggest Marvel character. He is the jewel in the crown. Such an amazing icon. He is a very different type of hero because he is quite simply the greatest superhero of all time.
Wait a minute. You want the real Avengers?
Peter Parker is one of the most beloved and powerful superheroes of the MCU.
Not bad. Good shot, buddy.
Oh, Mr. Parker.
Hey, I'm Peter.
It's about time we met.
When I started first reading the comics, when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, younger, but particularly in that sweet spot, I was like, oh, this is me.
When Steve Ditko and Stan Lee brought him to life in the early 60s, he was such a great contrast to all the other Marvel heroes. The comics were so amazing, having this shared universe where anybody could show up in anybody else's books. And it's been almost 10 years since we introduced the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He was a modern-day high school kid in New York City who ended up accidentally getting extraordinary abilities.
Oh, that's awesome.
Most people know who Spider-Man is, and he's probably the Marvel hero with the most name recognition. I've always had an affinity for the character, and seeing it depicted on film as it was in the books, that's an exciting take on it that I've seen before.
Action!
I love that it's about a teenager. He's got this awesome energy. It's going to be really magical.
I've always sympathized with Peter Parker because he's a science nerd, and I was a science nerd in high school. Now imagine if you were Spider-Man and you could do all this amazing stuff. You would spend every moment of your day trying to maximize the amount of time you get to be Spider-Man because it would be the best feeling in the world.
One of the coolest things about this movie is that we've seen the God, we've seen the soldier, we've seen the billionaire. Now it's time to see the kid and see what he can do.
Peter, you still with us?
Yeah. Characters, but one of the important things is making sure that little parts of each bleed into each other. We've always trying to find little moments where Spider-Man can be seen in Peter Parker when we can see Peter Parker through the mask. Woo! And we really get to explore a kid having fun.
What's up, everybody?
Tom is enthusiastic and bright and gifted and very physically talented guy. It's just the right combination of elements that were required to really make an exciting new playlist.
So, to become an Avenger, are there, like, trials or an interview?
Just don't do anything I would do. And definitely don't do anything I wouldn't do. There's a little gray area in there, and that's where you operate.
Oh.
All right?
That's not a hug. I'm just grabbing the door for you. All right, kid. Good luck out there.
Tom's playing an age of Spider-Man that
I really, really remember what it was like to be 15, 16, 17, and everything is an 11. Talking to a girl is just as stressful as trying to get into college, which is just as stressful as taking down a supervillain.
I know school sucks. I know you want to save the world, but you're not ready yet.
I'm good.
Putting Spider-Man in the MCU is the best thing in the world for me as a storyteller. Now we can just have fun with, I think, what makes Spider-Man unique is very powerful, and that he has a secret identity.
Guys, it's a secret. Okay. Swear it, okay? I don't think I can keep this a secret. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I can't believe this is happening right now.
When Peter Parker initially is going on his adventures as Spider-Man, he wears sweatpants and a sweatshirt with sort of a crudely sewn sweat hood and these irising goggles that he's built out of parts that he's scavenged.
Can you even see in these?
Yeah. He's taken a continued interest with his suit and the tech and all that.
And that's where we see for the first time what I think is going to be the most iconic version of the Spider-Man outfit that anybody's ever seen.
Good evening, Peter.
Hello?
Tony Stark built this costume for him.
Excuse me, actually, that's top secret. You can't film that. Security!
The idea that the Spider-Man suit could be Stark Tech really just opened up the door to a lot of really great stuff.
How'd you find me? Did you put a tracker in my suit or something?
I put everything in your suit, including this heater.
Whoa.
There's even a little spider drone.
Has that been there the whole time? That's awesome. The suit is one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me in my whole life. Wearing that suit for the first time was just a dream come true. And still to this day, can't really believe that it's happened.
Can I try the suit on? This is awesome.
This film is an origin story in that we see how Spider-Man begins to become the icon and legend that we all know as Spider-Man.
Just gotta do.
Spider-Man begins to become the icon and legend that we all know as Spider-Man.
Just gotta do this on my own.
But we come at it in a different way. He's been Spider-Man for at least 6 months when we meet him.
You're that Spider guy on YouTube, right? Call me Spider-Man. Okay, Spider-Man. Don't flip. Yeah!
We don't do the spider bite. We don't do the death of Uncle Ben. We've seen that before.
I know you sneak out of this house every night. That's not fine.
There's a whole new way of telling his story. This Peter is on the periphery of the world that Tony Stark lives in.
I'm sick of him treating me like a kid all the time.
But you are a kid. Being Spider-Man in a world where the Avengers exist means that we don't have to spend any time explaining that, which means we can just get right into the fun of it, telling this story from Peter's perspective, so the audience is feeling and seeing and experiencing everything with Peter as it's happening.
I get to keep the suit?
This does not mean you're an Avenger, in case you were wondering.
At the beginning of the movie, Peter loves being Spider-Man, doesn't love being Peter Parker. Peter Parker sort of represents everything that he was, which to him is just a weird, outsidery, science-y nerd.
Dork has to race to the Washington Monument, and it's this crazy sequence of Peter battling his fear of heights.
Never been this high before.
But also trying to save the day. It's going to be one of the most crazy sequences I think Marvel have ever done. Web wings! It's just nuts.
Just trying to think of everything that we do should be something new. I think the best way to go about it is to just be the biggest fan I can be as well. I have a pretty good idea for a set piece on the Staten Island Ferry.
Spider-Man flips in, lands. Hey guys, the illegal. And we're all together. It's been such a delight. Woo! Since day one, Jacob and I hit it off immediately. It's probably the most important relationship throughout the movie because he's the only person who he confides in to talk about being Spider-Man.
Can you spit venom? What's your favorite spider? Tarantula, Daddy Longlegs, Brown Recluse, Black Widow. Sorry.
So I almost see Ned as a sort of shrink, you know, someone he could just really let out to.
What is it like being famous when nobody knows it's you? It's crazy. Should we tell everyone?
Zendaya plays a character called Michelle.
You guys are losers.
Then why do you sit with us?
Because I don't have any friends.
And she is a sort of weird, dorky, kind of closed-off character.
Am I?
But she seems to follow Peter and Ned around quite a lot. She's really brought something very cool to that character and something very interesting and unique.
Can we go already? Because I was hoping to get in some